Republican has carried this state for president since Ronald Reagan in the 49-1 blowout. So if Walker wins tomorrow, if you look at our electoral college map over here, we have Wisconsin leading blue for that reason. 247 to 206 coming in. Let's say Governor Walker, the Republican governor, wins tomorrow by a couple points or more. So at a close poll race, you say, wow, that's a good win. Do we change that to toss-up, or do you think, no, governor's race is not presidential race?
I think you keep it as a toss-up, but there's a little bit of a glimmer of hope for Republicans there. This is going to be a test of Republican intensity. This is a test of whether a Republican governor can do impose some of the reforms that we think all governors need to do around the country and survive. This is going to embolden the party. So this is important politically for Republicans as well as in governing.
It is a governing in this incredibly polarized environment with incredibly tough state budget issues. And so Gray Davis was the last governor to have a recall election. He lost. Now, Mayor Barrett's not Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe. The dynamic of California is different than Wisconsin. But the history tells you the incumbent loses. The guy being recalled tends to lose.
And look, I mean, I think if Walker wins, I think we'll be looking at this two ways. Geographically, as Alex said, Wisconsin is one of 18 states that have voted Democratic in at least the past 5 consecutive elections. So any chink in that blue wall, as I've called it, I think is worth noting. The other way, John, I think I'll be looking at this is demographically, because in 2010, when Walker won in the first place, the Democrats lost ground among college-educated whites and non-college whites compared to Obama in 2008. The big loss was among those blue-collar whites, all the way down to 40% for Barrett. If Walker is able to hold that non-college white, that working-class white vote, it would really underscore the results in all the polls that suggest Obama is facing real difficulty with those
elections. And there's no question this will be all about intensity, I think, on both sides of the aisle. And I think that right now the focus is, Debbie Wasserman was right, on the turnout operation.
I was going to say, and I think that's why Ron is exactly right, and that's why Obama didn't go up to the state, because he is a polarizing force among those white working class voters that Barrett is trying to hold on to here. But this is going to be a huge test to see if we become Greece. Whether you agree with Scott Walker's reforms or not, can any governor make the tough choices required to get this country back on sound economic footing and survive?
If Walker wins, essentially defeats the recall effort, might this have been a mistake by organized labor? Might Democratic governors out there who face these same crises say maybe they're not going to go as far as him, maybe they don't want to do as much as him, but say at least maybe not on the collective bargaining rights, but when it comes to health care and pension costs, might they say, you know what, you can do this?
I think certainly it will give Democratic governors pause, but I don't think that labor will say it was a mistake, because they're doing what they need to do in terms of fighting for their collective bargaining rights.
Here's why I think it's a mistake, too, because labor is now not just big labor. It's a political party, and it's being treated as such in Wisconsin. And I think that, what do Americans hate more than anything these days?
Well, you know what?
This is going to lower their stock quite a bit.